We had the quarterback. We didn't, and we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. Now, we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole." These words, spoken by Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam, echoed to the halls of the NFL's annual owners' meetings in Palm Beach, Florida. It was a rare moment of public accountability from a franchise owner, a blunt admission that the Deshaun Watson experiment had failed. For a team that went all in, mortgaging its future on a controversial and costly gamble, the ramifications continued to reverberate. Haslam's comments were striking not just for their candor, but for their implications. He and his wife, co-owner Dee Haslam, took responsibility for a move that many had criticized from the outset. The Browns surrendered 6 draft picks, including multiple first-rounders, and handed Watson an unprecedented $230 million fully guaranteed contract, an audacious bet that was supposed to deliver a franchise quarterback for the next decade. Instead, it has left the organization in a state of turmoil, with an uncertain path forward and a roster that, despite its talent, has been hamstrung by financial constraints. Cleveland's front office, led by General Manager Andrew Berry and head coach Kevin Stefanski, has been under intense scrutiny. The Watson deal didn't just fail to produce results on the field. It disrupted the team's salary cap structure and altered the perception of the franchise within the league. The Browns were once seen as a team on the rise, building steadily under Berry and Stefanski. Now, they find themselves at a crossroads, with Haslam making it clear that he does not intend to scapegoat his top executives for a decision that ultimately rested with ownership. The question that looms largest: what now? The Browns are committed to Watson for at least another season, if not longer, due to the financial burden of his contract. Cutting him outright would accelerate a cap hit that could cripple the team's ability to build a competitive roster. Yet, sticking with him means doubling down on a player who has failed to regain his Pro Bowl form. It's a dilemma that has no easy answers, and one that has divided the fan base. Brown supporters in Cleveland, tuning into ESPN 850 WKNR, are left wondering whether they should feel relief or continued frustration. On one hand, hearing Haslam admit the obvious, that the Watson trade was a mistake, suggests a level of self-awareness that could indicate a new direction. On the other, it raises doubts about the leadership's ability to make sound football decisions moving forward. If they were so convinced about Watson and stuck by him despite mounting evidence that he wasn't the answer, what assurances are there that they won't make another costly miscalculation? As the NFL draft approaches, speculation is swirling. Will the Browns take a quarterback with the 2nd overall pick, pivoting away from Watson and beginning the search for his successor? Haslam's comments left the door open but didn't provide a definitive answer. Abdul Carter is currently the betting favorite for the pick, with Shatter Sanders not far behind. If the right player is there, Haslam suggested, Cleveland will take him, but if not, the team may choose to wait, potentially trading back into the first round for a signal caller or focusing on the best player available. What's undeniable is that the Watson trade reshaped not just the Browns, but the entire league. When Cleveland gave Watson a fully guaranteed contract, it sent shockwaves to the NFL's financial landscape. The ripple effects reached quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, who sought similar guarantees in his own negotiations. The decision altered the way front offices approached contracts, leading to tension among owners who resented the precedent it set. Haslam, who was widely criticized for breaking the unwritten rules of quarterback contracts, now finds himself publicly admitting that the move was a massive misstep. In many organizations, a debacle of this magnitude would cost the general manager or head coach their job. Yet, in Cleveland, it appears that Berry and Stefanski will be given another chance, at least for now. Haslam's remarks suggest that, despite their involvement in the Watson decision, they are not being blamed for its fallout. That, in itself, is a departure from the norm in the NFL, where leadership is often held accountable for front office blunders. It's also an acknowledgement that this was not an isolated mistake by the football operations department. It was a top-down organizational gamble that failed spectacularly. So where does that leave the Browns? Stuck in a paradox. They have an expensive, underperforming quarterback they cannot easily move on from. They have a roster talented enough to compete, but hindered by the financial weight of Watson's deal. And they have an ownership group that, for the first time, is openly admitting fault but offering no clear path forward. As Cleveland prepares for draft in the upcoming season, one thing is clear. The Browns must find a way to move past the Watson era, whether that means preparing for his eventual replacement or making adjustments to salvage what remains of his tenure. Until then, Browns fans are left grappling with a reality they hope never to face, that their team took its biggest swing in decades and missed.